Have you ever stopped to number your days to really think about how short life is and how quickly time slips away? Welcome back to the Passage Unlocked. We attempt to unlock the Bible one verse at a time. My name is Jim Murrell, and today we're talking about the brevity of life. How precious, how fleeting, how purposeful every single day truly is. You know, for thousands of years, as fast as a person could travel was as fast as a horse could run. That didn't even change until 1830-ish when the first engine outran the horse. Think about that. All the way from the time of Jesus until 1830, the horse set the speed limit for the entire world. Then in 1910, the first military airplanes were developed, flying a mere 42 miles per hour. Not long after that, Charles Lindbergh crossed the Atlantic in 33 hours, and people thought that was nearly miraculous. But today, a jet can cross that same exact ocean in just over 3 hours. You see, we have created inventions that promise to save us time, yet we have less time than we have ever had before. We rush to places like we're chasing something, and often we don't even know what we're chasing. Time just seems to collapse around us. So let me ask you a question. What are you doing with the time that you have right now? In Psalm 31 and verse 15, we read, "My times are in your hand." You see, every one of us has exactly the same 1,440 minutes in a day. No more, but no less. There are only 168 hours in a week. And if you live to be 70 years old, you'll spend about 20 years in the bed. That being the first 15 maybe in childhood, and the last 5 probably limited in strength. That leaves us only 30 years of real decision-making life. And much of that will actually be spent working, eating, caring for your daily needs. So again, what are you doing with your time right now? The Bible asks us a haunting question. It asks, what is your life? Is it even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes away? James 4 and verse 14. You see, your time is already in God's hands. He's already set a day for each of us to leave this world. We don't know how, we don't know when, but we do know for sure it's coming. One day you'll stand before Him and give an account for how you have lived and what you did with Jesus Christ while you were living. You see, the truth is we're all suffering from the same exact condition. It's a spiritual heart condition, a disease maybe you might call it. It's sin. It doesn't matter your background, your color, your education, or your wealth. God sees the heart. But here's hope. God sent His Son to die for that disease. The blood of Jesus Christ was shed, and it is the only cure. You can't buy more time. Scientists have tried to invent new minutes, but they just couldn't do it. You can't store up time or hours for another day. But the Bible does say that you can redeem the time. That is, buy it back and use it wisely and then dedicate it to God. You may say, but Jim, I go to church sometimes. I do believe in God. But have you truly committed your life to Him? Have you surrendered everything, your time, your plans, and your future? To His will. Jesus once said, "I must work the works of Him who sent me while it is day, for the night is coming when no man can work." John 9 and verse 4. Even Jesus recognized His time was limited, and yet at the end of His life He could say, "I have finished the work which you have given me to do." Can you say exactly the same thing Jesus did? Have you used every moment of time God has given you for His purpose? You see, God has a purpose for your life, a work that only you can accomplish. You're unique, and no one else can fill your place in His kingdom. Time can either be your greatest tool or your cruelest master. But even when you have wasted years, God's mercy can still redeem the time you have left. Someone once said, it's not the days in your life, but the life in your days that actually counts most. I believe that's true spiritually too. You can't just drift through life chasing pleasure or wasting hours on sin and somehow expect to find peace. God calls upon us to love Him, and then to love one another. Jesus said it would be that love that would become a defining mark of us as His people. Paul reminds us in 1 Corinthians that time is short. Revelation then in turn declares that there will be a day when, quote, time shall be no more. You see, the end of all things, it's actually coming. And as we draw closer to that day, I think the devil is working harder than ever. Revelation 12 says Satan is frantically active because he knows that time is short. He doesn't want to let go of us. He wants to keep you in the kingdom of his darkness. But through Christ, you have a choice. You can step out of darkness into the marvelous light that God offers. Paul wrote in Romans 13, knowing the time, that now is high time to wake up out of our sleep. For now our salvation is nearer than we first believed. Every sunrise is one day closer to eternity. Every tick of the clock whispers the word now. In 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 2, we read, now is the accepted time. Behold, now is the day of salvation. Not tomorrow, not when life slows down, not when you've accomplished your plans, but now. You see, if you feel that gentle tug on your heart that whispers and it tells you it's time to come to Christ, don't silence that. Don't harden your heart, because every time you ignore his voice, your heart becomes just a little harder. You have 86,400 seconds every day, a gift from God. How many of them will you spend on eternity? The devil says, wait for another time. God says, this is the time. And he's right. The very fact that you're hearing these words right now as I speak them means that God is still reaching for you. This moment, right now, could be your hour with God. So come to him. Redeem the time. Let today be the day that you make things right with him, because the clock, it's still ticking, and tomorrow isn't promised. If you've got any questions about your salvation, whether or not you have it, I've suggested a couple of videos I'll put up right beside me here on the screen. I would encourage you to watch and just let God speak to your heart today and let his word proclaim the truth so that you may obey it while there is time.